Welcome to our channel. Today we embark on a journey through the annals of American history, venturing beyond the hallowed halls of the White House to explore the fortunes amassed by some of the nation's most prominent leaders. From the very birth of this nation, with its founding fathers, to the titans of industry who shaped the modern era, the presidency has attracted individuals of ambition, intellect, and often considerable wealth. Join us as we delve into the lives and legacies of the top 10 wealthiest presidents of the United States, uncovering the sources of their fortunes and the impact their wealth had on their presidencies. Our journey begins with the 45th President, Donald J. Trump, a man whose name has become synonymous with opulent skyscrapers, sprawling golf courses, and a life lived in the public eye. Long before his foray into politics, Trump had already established himself as a force to be reckoned with in the world of New York real estate. His father, Fred Trump, a successful real estate developer in his own right, provided Donald with a substantial financial springboard. However, it was Donald's own business acumen, his relentless self-promotion, and his knack for closing deals that catapulted him to the upper echelons of wealth. From the iconic Trump Tower in Manhattan to luxury hotels and casinos bearing his name, Trump's empire grew at an astonishing pace. While estimates of his net worth have varied over the years, there is no denying that Trump entered the White House as one of the wealthiest individuals to ever hold the office. His business holdings, spanning multiple industries and continents, presented unprecedented ethical and logistical challenges during his presidency. The Trump Organization, a vast network of companies, became a focal point of scrutiny, raising questions about potential conflicts of interest and foreign entanglements. Love him or loathe him, Donald Trump's presidency marked a stark departure from the norm, and his background as a self-made billionaire continues to be a topic of fascination and debate. Our journey takes us back to the very dawn of the United States, to a time when the nation was still finding its footing, and the institution of the presidency was yet to be fully defined. George Washington, the man who would become the first president of the United States, was already a figure of immense wealth and stature. Born into a prominent Virginia family, Washington inherited Ferry Farm, a sizable plantation, at the age of 11. Through shrewd land acquisitions and marriage to Martha Dandridge Custis, a wealthy widow, Washington's holdings grew exponentially. His primary residence, Mount Vernon, became a testament to his wealth and influence. At the time of his death, Washington's estate encompassed nearly 80,000 acres of land, hundreds of slaves, and a diverse portfolio of investments. He was a true agrarian entrepreneur, involved in farming, fishing, whiskey distilling, and land speculation. Washington's wealth was not merely a symbol of personal success, it was inextricably linked to the institution of slavery that permeated the South. His ownership of enslaved Africans, though a harsh reality of the time, continues to cast a shadow on his legacy. Our exploration of presidential wealth leads us to Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, a polymath, architect, inventor, and a man of immense intellectual curiosity. Jefferson's legacy is forever intertwined with Monticello, his beloved plantation estate nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Designed and meticulously crafted by Jefferson himself, Monticello stands as a testament to his refined taste, his love for classical architecture, and his unwavering belief in the ideals of agrarianism. However, beneath the veneer of Enlightenment thought and architectural grandeur lay a harsh reality. Jefferson's wealth, like that of many of his contemporaries, was built on the backs of enslaved Africans. Throughout his life, Jefferson owned over 600 slaves who toiled on his vast plantation, cultivating tobacco, wheat, and other crops. The moral complexities of Jefferson's legacy, his eloquent pronouncements on liberty juxtaposed with his ownership of human beings, continue to be a subject of intense debate. Beyond Monticello, Jefferson possessed a diverse portfolio of assets, including land holdings, books, and scientific instruments. However, his penchant for lavish spending and a series of financial setbacks left him deeply in debt by the time he left office. Our journey takes us to the turn of the 20th century, a time of rapid industrialization, economic expansion, and the rise of American power on the world stage. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, embodied the spirit of this era. Born into a wealthy and influential New York family, Roosevelt inherited a substantial fortune that provided him with the financial security to pursue his passions for politics, conservation, and adventure. While Roosevelt's personal wealth paled in comparison to some of his predecessors, his family's connections and his own astute investments ensured a comfortable lifestyle. He was a shrewd investor, dabbling in real estate, stocks, and bonds. However, Roosevelt's true legacy lies not in his personal wealth, but in his transformative policies that shaped the nation's relationship with its natural resources. A champion of conservation, Roosevelt established the United States Forest Service, created 5 national parks, and protected over 230 million acres of public land. His presidency marked a turning point in American history, ushering in an era of government regulation, trust-busting, and a renewed focus on social justice. Roosevelt's legacy as a conservationist and a progressive reformer continues to inspire generations of Americans. Our exploration of presidential wealth takes us to the heart of the 1960s, a decade marked by social upheaval, cultural revolution, and the tragedy of assassination. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, embodied the youthful idealism and glamour of this era. Born into the wealthy and politically connected Kennedy family, John F. Kennedy's life was one of privilege and promise. His father, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., a self-made millionaire and former ambassador, instilled in his children a deep sense of ambition and a drive to succeed. While John F. Kennedy's personal wealth was substantial, it was the vast fortune amassed by the Kennedy family that truly set them apart. The Kennedy family's wealth, stemming from investments in real estate, stocks, and the entertainment industry, provided a powerful platform for political influence. John F. Kennedy's presidency, though tragically cut short, was marked by a spirit of optimism, a commitment to social progress, and a determination to win the Cold War. His administration launched ambitious initiatives in space exploration, civil rights, and international development. The Kennedy White House, often referred to as Camelot, became a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of Americans. John F. Kennedy's legacy, though forever intertwined with tragedy, continues to captivate the imagination of the world. Our journey back in time leads us to Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, a man of humble beginnings who rose to become a symbol of frontier spirit and populist fervor. Born into poverty in the Carolina backcountry, Jackson's early life was marked by hardship and loss. Orphaned at a young age, he received little formal education but possessed a keen intellect and an unyielding determination. Through sheer grit and a talent for law, Jackson established himself as a successful lawyer and land speculator. He acquired vast tracts of land in Tennessee, eventually establishing the Hermitage, his beloved plantation estate. Jackson's wealth, like that of many Southern planters, was built on the backs of enslaved Africans. At its peak, the Hermitage was home to over 150 slaves who labored in the cotton fields and maintained the estate. Jackson's presidency was marked by a commitment to expanding democracy, dismantling the Second Bank of the United States, and asserting federal authority over states' rights. His legacy as a champion of the common man is forever tarnished by his brutal treatment of Native Americans and his unwavering support for slavery. Our exploration of presidential wealth takes us to the heart of the early republic, to the mind of James Madison, the 4th President of the United States, often hailed as the father of the Constitution. Born into a wealthy planter family in Virginia, Madison inherited a substantial estate, Montpelier, which he would later expand through shrewd land acquisitions. Like many of his contemporaries, Madison's wealth was inextricably linked to the institution of slavery. Throughout his life, Madison owned over 100 slaves who labored on his plantation, cultivating tobacco, wheat, and other crops. Madison's views on slavery were complex and often contradictory. He expressed moral qualms about the institution, but ultimately profited from it and defended it as a necessary evil. Despite his personal involvement in slavery, Madison played a pivotal role in shaping the United States Constitution, a document that enshrined principles of liberty and equality, albeit with compromises that protected the interests of slaveholding states. Madison's presidency was marked by challenges, including the War of 1812, but he also oversaw significant territorial expansion and strengthened the role of the federal government. His legacy as a brilliant political theorist and a pragmatic leader is forever intertwined with the contradictions of his time. Our journey through the annals of presidential wealth takes us to the heart of the 20th century, to the era of Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, a master legislator and a complex figure who navigated the turbulent waters of the Cold War and the Civil Rights Movement. Born into modest circumstances in rural Texas, Johnson's rise to power was marked by ambition, political savvy, and a deep understanding of the levers of government. While not born into wealth, Johnson's astute investments and his wife, Lady Bird Johnson's, inheritance of a media company, KTBC, laid the foundation for their fortune. Under Lady Bird Johnson's shrewd management, KTBC expanded its reach and became a valuable asset, significantly contributing to the Johnson family's wealth. The Johnson family also acquired vast tracts of land in Texas, including the LBJ Ranch, a sprawling property that served as a retreat for the president. Johnson's presidency was marked by a commitment to social justice, enacting landmark civil rights legislation and expanding social welfare programs. However, his legacy is also intertwined with the escalation of the Vietnam War, a conflict that deeply divided the nation. Our exploration of presidential wealth takes us back to the early 20th century, a time of technological innovation, economic prosperity, and the looming shadow of the Great Depression. Herbert Hoover, the 31st President of the United States, embodies the complexities of this era. Orphaned at a young age, Hoover's early life was marked by hardship and resilience. He displayed a talent for engineering, excelling in his studies at Stanford University, and embarking on a successful career in mining. Hoover's engineering prowess and his keen business acumen led him to amass a considerable fortune. He traveled the globe, overseeing mining operations in Australia, China, and other far-flung corners of the world. His reputation as a skilled manager and a shrewd investor grew, and he eventually established himself as a wealthy and influential figure in the world of international finance. However, Hoover's presidency would be forever overshadowed by the onset of the Great Depression, a cataclysmic economic downturn that exposed the limitations of his laissez-faire economic policies. Despite his best efforts to combat the Depression, Hoover's presidency was marked by economic hardship, social unrest, and a sense of despair that gripped the nation. Our journey through the annals of presidential wealth culminates with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, a towering figure who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. Born into the wealthy and influential Roosevelt family, Franklin D. Roosevelt's life was one of privilege and opportunity. His distant cousin, Theodore Roosevelt, had already served as president, and Franklin was determined to leave his own mark on history. While Franklin D. Roosevelt's personal wealth paled in comparison to the vast fortunes amassed by some of his predecessors, he benefited from a privileged upbringing, an Ivy League education, and a network of powerful connections. His family's wealth, stemming from real estate, finance, and investments, provided him with a comfortable lifestyle and the financial security to pursue a career in public service. Roosevelt's presidency was marked by an unprecedented expansion of the federal government, the implementation of New Deal programs designed to combat the Great Depression, and the mobilization of the nation for war against the Axis powers. His legacy as a transformative leader who guided the United States through its darkest hours remains secure. Roosevelt's presidency ushered in an era of social welfare programs, economic regulation, and a more active role for the federal government in the lives of ordinary Americans. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the lives and fortunes of some of America's wealthiest presidents. We've explored the sources of their wealth, the impact their fortunes had on their presidencies, and the complex legacies they left behind. From the vast landholdings of the Founding Fathers to the business empires of modern-day tycoons, wealth has played a recurring role in the American presidency. It's a reminder that the pursuit of power and the accumulation of wealth have often been intertwined in the nation's history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into history and wealth. Let us know in the comments which president's wealth surprised you the most.